What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, we are going to do another set of answering Splinterlands comments. I appreciate each and every one of you for leaving a comment here. So I try to do this on a regular basis. I am still a little behind, it seems. We're 8 days behind, but we are slowly catching up. And like I said, I will at least try to respond, or at the very least, acknowledge your comments here. So Merlin's Matrix is sending some healing vibes. I appreciate that. I think I was sick about a week ago, so maybe that tracks. But thank you, Merlin's Matrix. Appreciate you. All right, so Gary is saying, I'm focusing my glint on merits mostly. I have all commons and rares at max silver where I play, and the chance of getting epics and legendaries I want are so slim. I like the new system, just needs more options and guaranteed rarities for sure. Very cool. See, guys, it's not all about the money. Gary's going in on glint. Doesn't need all of the fancy stuff there. Okay, Ardenex says, I'm so conflicted. What made this game addicting for me was opening daily chests. The new glint system doesn't make me want to play every day. Also, I can't believe Modern Silver has all max players. I know, I'm in the same boat there. I played one battle, maxed, I lost, and I was like, yeah, back to wild. So much has changed while I was on sabbatical that has me not as excited about playing anymore. You know, I don't disagree with you. Modern has become, like, Modern is either you are all in or you're not. And if you're not, then you get subjugated to wild. And I don't think that that's a good place for the game to be in right now, honestly. I know that the bots, they want to get those up and running at some point, right? The bots for Archmage that are not going to earn, but are just going to provide match liquidity. But that, you know, like that's such a stopgap solution of, and the irony is that we like said no bots in Modern, and now it's like, okay, your bots are allowed, but you know, it is what it is. It's in such a terrible place right now. All right, so Bruce says, how many copies of commons would you get if you got it from the master draw? I think I've gotten 8 to 11, somewhere in that range. But you could just get one, right, if you get a very terrible master draw. All right, so Asman says, I agree. It kind of sucks there's no chest. It's literally playing the whole freaking season in Diamond Champ for what? For 20 master draws. Didn't even spend it. Seems crappy. They effing need to give us, man, all right, you're really dropping the F-bombs here. I'm going to try and keep this somewhat family-friendly, although this is not a family-friendly channel by any means. Okay, need to give us more glint. This is not as fun as before, and that's just talking about EOS. I don't know, you know, it's not about, in terms of like getting more glint, I think we need more options. I mean, more glint would be nice, but I think we need more options, and I'm hoping that comes sooner rather than later. Again, we have a town hall later this week. I don't know what, I genuinely am like optimistic about this because I have no idea what's in store. Again, the only thing that we've been told is, you know, was almost ready was the grain LP, but you know, Far Petrod's no longer there, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. The other parts could be the onboarding tutorial, right, that the team has been working on. Then, of course, the one-click set rentals, which would actually be pretty cool. I wonder if I would be open. I would probably give Modern a try, maybe even just, you know, spruce up an alt account and give it a try just to see if I'm able to, like, rent a bunch of cards super easily and not have to go one by one. That could be kind of fun. But I don't know. We'll see what they got. All right, Asman says, what do you mean it costs significantly more than a master draw for a legendary? 10x the cost. We earn like 20 master draws a season, so what, you play the hold to open 2 legendaries? It sounds so boring. I mean, again, I don't know what the cost is. If I said it and I wasn't thinking about the math, it's because I wasn't thinking about the math. So I don't know what the appropriate cost would be, but I'm willing to pay more for a guaranteed rarity. That is for sure. Asmon also says, I would rather we were forced into freaking chests no matter what, then I just have to open them and it's fun. This way I got to save up and open a few draws is no fun, and to open lower chests seems useless. Again, I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I was definitely on the other side of the fence. I really thought that this would be like an arcade style. You get to go in and, you know, choose what you want, you know, based on all the tickets that you won from all of your playing. But I guess the problem right now is that you win all this glint, and when you go to the shop, there's just nothing there that you really want. There's nothing that has that same kind of value and draw and appeal, pun intended. So Yeah, I don't know. Icy Flow says there is no demand, just a ton of minting. Time to start having. I'm thinking more about this, Icy Flow. I had a fantastic kind of back and forth with Mondroid through Discord earlier today. So shout out to Mondroid because he was sharing some math with me based on the SPS to 1 cent video that I put out, which I thought was interesting. And I still maintain that there's way too much SPS out there in the ecosystem already, but I could understand the value of doing some kind of SPS halving. Either that, or we just need to bite the bullet and I don't know, like get rid of a bunch, like cut the max supply down to 2 billion and see what people do, right? Cut the max supply down to 2 billion and then keep the rest of the distribution and then see if people do a little push and shove. All right. Compy says, this is what happens when you let gamers run a crypto project. Well, I mean, it's a crypto game. So, that is the whole thing. And I know, the term gets thrown out there all the time, Game Boy and all that. And I know it's meant in a derogatory way, but here's the thing. If you want this to be like a DeFi project, then, I think you're in the wrong place. Cause even Matt said, he doesn't want this to be a DeFi project. And I understand, like, he's still designing it in a way that feels very much like a DeFi project. But if you ever want to actually break into gaming, then, the game elements need to be good. So I hate to do this, but I think Parallel is doing it quite well. Yes, there is a crypto side to it, a Web3 side to it very much, but they've done a fantastic job creating a game. And I think that is where the Splinterlands team is currently pivoting to in terms of creating an awesome game that people just want to come in and play. Now, the problem is Parallel does it well because they have a free to play. Splinterlands, I don't know how many people would be able to overcome that barrier. And maybe the rentals, one-click set rentals is going to make things easier, but that remains to be seen. One, if they can do it well, and two, if people will actually bite. Okay, Davion says, although opening chests are a lot more fun, getting Glint gives me more control over the rewards that I would get. Also, I'm getting more SPS. All right, so we do have somebody who likes it. It's not all doom and gloom. Robert says, it won't solve all the problems with SPS, but I really think we should go back to old rules when there was a penalty for using underlevel cards in Gold, Diamond, and Champion. There are bronze level decks earning Diamond League rewards in Wild right now. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, okay, so you're not wrong about that. But they are earning Diamond League rewards because they have the appropriate amount of SPS. And granted, there's too much SPS out there, so I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, guys. I mean, we need more players to soak up literally every asset here. At the end of the day, SPS, I think, is the most important one. But, like if SPS were to go up significantly, even if new players didn't come in, players now would start botting the hell out of Wild. Right, just because it's like, oh wait, I can earn, I can put starter cards in and essentially just or level 1 cards and a bunch of SPS. Like, sure, like let me earn more now because that yield is higher, that value is higher. And again, I don't think that would be a bad thing because that would really tie up more SPS. It would tie up some cards, probably not that many, but at the end of the day, that is almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If demand for SPS goes up, then price goes up and demand goes up and price goes up and demand goes up. And yes, there will be people selling. So I know that it's not a perfect up and to the right, but you get my point. Vivo Sky says, I feel it is not fun anymore. Nowadays, nobody flex. I open a gold foil Kulu. It looks like you flexed. Well done. All right, so R says, unfortunately, the current bull market did hurt Splinterlands more than the bear market when all projects went down. This is really the saddest part. We believe in the game and stick to it, and when the bull hits, we get punished. So sad. Well, you know what? I kind of want to say, without being fully empathetic, but I kind of want to say I told you so. I love this game. I love this project, but for the past year plus, I have been saying that people like new and shiny, and Splinterlands is neither, unfortunately, right? The team is working to get it into a shiny state, but they've even admitted that they're not going to be able to outshine other competitors that have, the money, the backing, the prestige, whatever you want to call it. And so therefore they're leaning on their competitive advantage, which is the game economy. And I think that's a good competitive advantage to have, but we're just not quite there yet. And so, yeah, I mean, bull runs are all about narratives. They're all about, what people are into at the time. And, yeah, I almost want to do a video, because I was just going through this the other day. I want to go through I want to do a video of like all of the L1s, right? These were top 25, top 50 projects last bull run, right? 3 years ago that were popping off that have not done much this year, right? Or not done much over the past 6 months. Again, nobody's talking about them, right? But that's exactly what I'm trying to point out, is that nobody's talking about them because they're not doing anything. And so just because something was there in the previous round, if it did not deliver, if it did not build appropriately during the bear market, even now, and again, don't quote me on this because I haven't been following what's going on with like Avalanche, for example, right? But Cosmos isn't doing great. Polkadot is not doing great. But we know that Solana, people were definitely building in the bear. On Polygon, people were definitely building in the bear, right? So you're seeing this even at the L1 level. Now come down to the different sectors, and obviously for us, we focus on gaming. And it's like, okay, well, Illuvium was building because they're actually launching and shipping stuff now. Star Atlas, same thing, right? They're actually launching and shipping stuff now. Again, I'm not even trying to say that Splinterlands wasn't building. I think the Splinterlands team was actually quite active during that time. The problem is they just dug themselves into such a deep hole. And then, if you go with Matt's reasoning, they were too focused on short-term incentives rather than long-term objectives, right? And so, Matt's trying to change that, or at least over the past 7-8 months now that he's been CEO. I don't think it's like a case of too little too late in general, but I definitely am buying the idea that it's too late for a big portion of this cycle, right? So we'll see what happens over the summer. But keep in mind, Splinterlands could still pop off in like 10 in a year from now, right? Or 15 months from now. It's some euphoria if they time the release of the next set well. But it could be really, really painful until then. And that is just a pipe dream. That is just speculation. So who knows? All right. Chad Poole says, I feel you, bro. 1 legendary out of 10 master draws, 9 commons. Oh, that is awful. IAW game. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Mark says, it doesn't wonder me or maybe worry me that SPS is tanking. My bots that are renting 3 Splinter Bronze level cards have climbed to Diamond 1 in Wild. Damn, I'm playing with max summoners in Wild. In Diamond 1. I really should not be bothering with that. Okay, and you're winning 0.2 SPS per win. I also see a lot of single BCX bots in that league. They get SPS even cheaper. I mean, like at this point, bots are allowed in Wild, and I really would, if the incentive is there, I would love for more people to start running bots in Wild, soak up some of this SPS. Dr. D says, I'm convinced this game was a scam. What convinced you? NFT Crypto Mix says, I hope you get better soon. You sound, oh yeah, this is when I was not feeling well. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I just love the fact that we have DEC and DEC2, and give it time, there will be SPS2 to help the economy. The Glitch is just another version of SPS2, DEC2. Yeah, let's start brainstorming the names for the next token that they're going to airdrop us to save SPS. Okay, so Bakarev says, buy when there's blood in the streets right now. That is definitely the case for SPS and all Splinterlands assets. DCAing starting at these levels makes sense for SPS. Well, you know what? I hope it works well for you, but and I genuinely mean that. And I to a certain extent, I even agree with it fundamentally, right? And even now circumstantially, because of where the team is at, what they're pivoting to. That being said, this same line, buy when there's blood in the streets, buy when things are red, buy when people are being bearish. I mean, it's only gotten worse and worse and worse over the past however many months and years. What's funny is we're no longer, I think I heard one person say it recently, and then I rolled my eyes immediately when they're just like, oh, this feels like full capitulation. I was like, oh, this is the 5th capitulation for Splinterlands. How many more do we have to do before it actually is the real one, right? So you're not wrong, but at the end of the day, it could still go down for a long time. All right, so Wangmeister says the community has been its own biggest short-sighted and emotional enemy. Fair enough. Yeah, we don't see eye to eye on a lot. John Wick says SPS is what's up, John Wick? Great username. SPS is on its own timeline, so BTC prices have zero effect on it. Dumbest thing ever possible, but it is completely off the grid in regards to BTC. Like Matt said, it's doing its own thing. So not sure which way to take the logic. Yeah, the problem with that is that you still want it to be somewhat correlated with the rest of the crypto market, because now, like, literally nobody cares. And this is the problem where it's just like, okay, so what happens when Bitcoin or when SPS does start doing its own thing? Now, I've said that there is value, in fact, a tremendous amount of value, if we are a green candle in a sea of red. But you also run the risk, if everything is red, people are just checked out and nobody is like wanting to pay attention, right? You're going to have your hardcore crypto folks that are like, oh, what's this project? Let me check it out. But you don't have the masses flocking in, right? And so that's kind of where you want to be. Asman says, what happens now? Oh, the war against bots. What happens now? I don't know. I mean, there's wild, so bots will always be a part of the game unless some action is taken there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where things go. I think we will slowly start to get more bots or accounts up and running again if the prices get too low or the rewards start to increase, and there will be a nice equilibrium there. So Vishal says, because of bots, SPS price increases, and now I don't think SPS price will ever recover. I think you meant decreases. Okay, let's see here. Oh, lots of comments or replies to this one. All right, so Aroni says, the family of criminal looters that lives down on the corner that sells their stolen merchandise every day are in jail now. Oh my God, we ruined the economy of the neighborhood. Botting is stealing, cheating, and scamming. I'm trying to understand. So I know we're not fans of bots here. Okay, so Jason says, could just have easily been humans who left. There's no way there were 500,000 humans here. I mean, maybe 500,000 people checked out the game, but definitely not 500,000 humans. This game would look completely different. SPS would have been way higher than $1. Asma says, big part of all this is that we're making huge changes right when there's supposed to be a bull run. We are just barely not ready, and people got emotional. Due to changes that will be 100% temporary, like the rework and ranked. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remind people of the same thing, right? I'm trying to remind people of the same thing, that it's just we're in a moment in time here, and if you trust the vision and where they're going to go, you gotta let Matt finish what he's trying to accomplish. Now, that being said, it's still frustrating when they say, yeah, we want to get all new player experience stuff done by the end of summer. Or done by the summer, right? Second half of the year, where we'll start marketing, and then start of Q2 or whenever the last town hall was. It's like, yeah, but actually, I think it's going to take until October, right? Until the end of Q3. So I understand why people are frustrated, and being in a bull run makes it worse, man, because you see every other project going up, and that FOMO, that regret, sunk cost fallacy is a tough pill to swallow. Tails, what's going on, Tails? A layman could say chemo kills cancer patients, but it's not the treatment of a disease that is fatal. The disease is, if the only way your Web3 project sees success is through bot farms, then your project is not sustainable in the first place. Don't discount the many mistakes made over the 3 years and come to the mistaken conclusion that fighting bots was the death blow. Oh, all right. So this is a great point, Tails. Thank you for bringing this up. If I came across as saying like, yeah, the killing the bots was the problem. No, I think that it contributed, because I don't think people understood the second and third order effects of that, and that's fine, right? Because there was a kind of like purist focus on the game, and even I got behind that, right? I'm like, I want this game to be something more. I don't want it to just be IBM Watson versus IBM Watson on the other side. That being said, you're right. I mean, I think it was significant, but there's plenty of blame to go around. So I don't think that bots were the only reason. I think that they killed certain elements, such as like the rental market early on, when a lot of those changes happened. But I made that video not necessarily trying to be antagonistic about it. I was actually trying to show people that, you wanted the team to take on bots, right? You wanted the team to get rid of bots. And for the longest time, the team wanted to do it from a decentralized approach. And I think they did, right? Like, I mean, you may not like it because you didn't fully understand what would happen, right? Like, in order to remove the incentives for bots, you're removing the incentives for humans too, right? We have the same incentives. It's just they can play all day, every day, and they have perfect memory. But it's just like, if you remove the incentives for bots, then, like a lot of the incentives for people were gone too. And the game at its core, as much as I love it, was not enough to keep people here for the game itself, right? So that was a big issue. All right, Christopher Charles says, it's killed the economy because no one was willing to take the simple measures necessary to right the card supply while we knocked the bots out of commission. It's been nonstop BS about how... Okay, so Christopher, I mean, how would we fix the card supply? Because I know you're on this. You want the card assets to go up. I actually, I'm on the other side. Respectfully disagree, right? I'm not... If the card prices go up and you're right, I mean, I'm happy no matter what. But I think part of the struggle that I'm seeing, or we're still on the same page. Let me not be so diametrically opposed to you. If the card prices go up, that's obviously a good thing, and it'll lead to good things. I just think that SPS going up is the major win there. That it's the rising tide that's going to raise all of the other boats. That being said, how do we get rid of cards? What would be the best solution? And I know there's a lot of frustration because they got rid of the card burning aspect of this promo event, and that wasn't great. And to your point, I would actually like to see more creative ways in which we could burn cards, especially in order to mint newer cards, right? That could and maybe even should be something that like the mini set comes out and does. Let me germinate on that for a little bit and see if I can think up some cool ideas, or maybe you guys will come up with some ideas. All right, so and now we have MPE and Magic marketing campaign in 6 months. I'll surely make everything right. If we're going to get rid of them, that's fine, but we need to right size the asset pool for the player base. That doesn't include them. I don't know how much simpler it needs to be put. Again, the solution is, the endpoint is easy, right? It's the solution. It's how do we get there? Because there's 2.5 million, maybe it's less than 2.5, but definitely over 2 million unopened Chaos Legion packs that are just floating around, right? Even at 50 cents, which they're probably trading just above that now. I mean, that's $1 million worth of value that we need to find a way to incentivize people to throw in the garbage, right? To light it on fire. And then not just that, because there's way more already out, right? So it's the $1 million worth of unopened packs plus whatever excess we need to eat through, not just with Chaos Legion Core, but with the reward sets, the first one and the second one, right? Rift Watchers, I think, is fine, but I don't know how we get there, man. I don't know how we would get there. More card burning would be fantastic, but it's just, team doesn't have the resources right now to do that. All right, so someone else had an idea for a new Splinter you could only get by burning old cards. Ooh, I like that. It doesn't even matter what it is. Just give players a reason to burn the cards they aren't using instead of endlessly dumping them. Yeah. Yep. Man, it would be cool if there's just too many assets to prop up. Like vouchers shouldn't be a thing. My God, like vouchers should not be a thing, right? Because now it's like, everybody's thinking that vouchers and DEC we're going to burn a lot of that to mint new what's that called? Soulbound cards into NFTs. Well, I mean, there could have been something creative, and maybe there still could be, right? Where it's just like take an old card and burn that, and if you burn that, then maybe you get a discount as well. But then you're taking that utility away from vouchers, which sorely need utility, and you're taking that utility away from DEC, which is part of the flywheel, right? So we're just delaying and kind of disrupting the flywheel. Um, let's see. Card graveyard. Burn 3 cards to unlock one similar summon card. Combine max cards to get to level 11. Burn all cards for glint. Burn cards for guild perks. I wish there was a graveyard, like you said, for what's that called, for guilds, but guilds are not gonna get love for a long time, I think. Burn cards for leaderboards. Burn a pile of cards for the next mini set. Burn 20 cards for a promo card. Yep. Well, I mean, you gave some solutions here. I wish that they would listen to that. Diethical says, did 10 elite draws and 10 master draws, got 2 Izzyars and 1 Algai. I'm good with that. Hey, fair enough. RNG is on your side. Compy says the war on bots killed the game. Got a lot of people agreeing with you here. 16 upvotes or likes. Diamond Hands not selling says erroneous. Frugal Life says, but the game is still dominated by bots. Only these bots belong to Splinterlands. It's the only way to keep the game going. Killing incentives not only got rid of the bot farms, it's got rid of long-term players as well. I personally put big money into this game, but now refuse to put more cash in when every reward is soulbound. When you let people vote with SPS, then they get exactly what they deserve. People constantly hounding bots at the expense of real players was a mistake. I've been watching more players this week throw in the towel. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, your experience I don't think is unique. Wow, this video has already gotten decently long, and we only went from 8 days down to 7 days. So you guys are leaving plenty of comments. I don't want this to be too much longer, so let's just cover a couple more. So Andrew says, players are moving on. Ranked is a joke, especially wild rank with accounts in Diamond Champ with low CP and the current 20 rating system. Tournaments are also a joke with free entry where accounts enter and don't play. Whoever's left is just farming SPS with minimal effort. SPL is in a void where the team tried and failed to attract non-crypto players, yet it's on Hive. Yeah, the Hive thing is just not fantastic. CPT says, why hold SPS when there are amazing opportunities elsewhere? Don't disagree. Pomp says, Pyrrhic Victory. Yep. All right, Ghostly BG. How far are we from 6 days away? Okay, we're still. Damn. You guys are awesome for leaving all these comments. But I will. I'll have to come back and do it in a separate video. All right, so let's end with this. Ghostly BG. Shout out to you. Well, if we had not banned bots in Modern, I would have spent $0 on Rebellion, and I would have been totally uninterested in the game. I don't know if it was worth it. I could have saved money, I guess. Regardless, I am not putting a dime in a bot-infested project ever again. So some people are going to be very principled about this, right? And I don't blame them, right? To me, it's... I know this is going to sound wrong to so many people, but it's almost like a preferential thing. Some people didn't mind the bots and just took this more as like a DeFi platform and played it that way, and that was fine. But then you had a lot of folks who found it like it were principled against bots, right? And shout out to like GoCBG here, who's saying like I would not have spent anything, but they did spend money on Rebellion because of that bot ban, seeing actions taken against the bot farms or just bots in general. So I don't know. I mean, it shows just a wide or diverse array of opinions here within the community, which is probably why we can never really get anything done or pass anything. But where that leaves us now and in the future, not the best place, but the bull run is hopefully long, and I'll close this out with a little optimism and say, if this bull run goes on like any of the previous ones, meaning that it goes relatively deep into 2025, the team taking until October of 2024 to get all of the stuff done is not a big deal, right? Just saying it, right? It's not a big deal because they'll have probably from that point onwards a good year, a good 10 to 12 months to get their marketing on point, to launch a new set, to do some kind of cool collaboration, some kind of new Rooney 2.0, whatever it is to draw players in, right? That again, we don't need that many people coming in, even just a couple hundred people that look at the rewards in Modern and they're like, yeah, I want to buy a bunch of SPS and rent some cards, right? Or whatever the case is. That shoots SPS up. And that becomes that life spiral, that self-fulfilling prophecy, which I do hope that we get, right? That's obviously my pie in the sky expectation or desire, I should say, because it's not really an expectation. I think my more reserved expectation is that we probably don't even set. I mean, at the low end, I think like the bare minimum for me, I would love to see us set a new all-time high from a market cap perspective. But keep in mind, that's like 20 cents, not $1. But I don't think we even get that, right? There's, again, there would have to be a lot of things that move in that way. Oh, did I lose power? Maybe, maybe not. All right, good time to close out the video. That is all I have for you guys. I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.